What up, guys? Happy Sunday. It's your girl Twilight. Just wanted to show you guys this beautiful scene. Look at the sun. Oh my God, y'all, we gotta honor the sun. Get out there. If it's beautiful and if it's nice in your area right now, get out there and get you some sun on that pineal gland because the sun speaks in frequency, okay? The energy from the sun will power you up. So get some sun on that and on that pineal gland. Now listen, if you're rotten on the inside, it ain't gonna do shit for you until you clear that rottenness up. But I promise you, it's gonna help heal your spirit, man. So get out there, get out in the sun, get you some nature, get you some air, and enjoy the beauty of life if you're not already doing that. So happy Sunday. Um, I want to go over something real quick with you guys, and I'll turn the camera on me in a second. But what we have to start looking at when we talk about relationships is the difference between relationships and usury. I'm going to say that again. We have to start looking at the difference between relationships and usury. And you can unintentionally use somebody if you are not in the right mindset when you attempt to get into a partnership. Now, I know that there are many relationship gurus out here, and really what I'm an expert in is nature and spirituality. So I base all of my conversations off the laws of nature, not the laws of survival, not hood laws, not motherfucking traditionalism. I base them off of the laws of nature. And so what I look at is how the laws of nature compares to how we move. And if we are moving out of accordance with the laws of natures, we are moving out of accordance with the with God. Y'all see that beautiful scene? We're moving out of accordance with God. Make sure you share this and let me know what you think in the comments. So if you are not moving in tandem with the laws of nature, you are not in alignment with the Most High, which is the reason why sometimes you're going to experience a ton of resistance, a ton of uphill battles, and a ton of challenges because you are not in alignment with the laws of nature. So, as I stated before, I don't go with what traditionally has happened. They got some big ass geese out here, too, guys. I don't go with what traditionally has been acceptable. I also don't go with um, hood laws and laws of survivalism. I go with what is spiritually acceptable. Hold on one second. Let me just turn my camera around. So I go with what is spiritually acceptable. And we need to make the distinction between usury and relationships. When you are not in the right psychological state, you can unintentionally use someone. Okay? And many people, because they're not in the right psychological state, are making these connections with worthwhile people, but you can walk past. They're making these connections with worthwhile people, but they're not in the right mind state. And that impaired mind state is what is causing them to unintentionally use people. Now, some people know they're in a fucked up psychological state and they're perfectly okay with using people. Okay, they don't care. Hell, they think using people is what they're entitled to do. Okay, and we call those particular type of peoples narcissists or people with that cluster B personality, um, um, spiritual sickness. Okay, because they feel that people are objects, they're supposed to be used, and if they can't use you, then what the hell are you good for? Okay, they don't understand genuine connections, they don't understand how to build a genuine partnership. It is really about self gratification and sometimes self aggrandizement. Like, I'm with somebody so that I can look good so they can benefit me. They're not thinking about what they bring to the table. Hell, excuse me, my allergies. They feel as if though their very presence, okay, is the benefit. They feel they're the prize. But I don't acquiesce to that type of mindset. You're not gonna get me to acquiesce to that type of mindset. And many of you that think like that, I don't even fuck with you. So you should know that by now. But my point is that we can unintentionally use people by not being in the right psychological state. So when we look at the laws of nature, you to prepare yourself for a partnership, you have to be in a clarity type of state of mind. Now, I'm going to give you some rules to the game that many people will not say, but I guarantee you that this has more of a probability of working to your benefit than not. So, listen to this. Ladies, if you are getting involved with a man, because as I stated before, men are builders, they're not necessarily healers. Okay? If you are going through a bunch of emotional pain, you're not, confident in yourself, you're dealing with insecurities, and, you need healing. I would recommend the first thing you do is fortify the relationship with yourself and fortify the relationship with the Most High. Because men who are true builders are not going to want a project, okay? But men who are builders will have a, it's more likely that a man who is a builder will invest in a woman if it's a calculated risk. Okay. So men think with their mind when it comes to relationship. Their mind leads them and then they go into their heart space. With women, their heart leads them and then they might go into their mind space if ever at all. Okay, that's why it's more easier for women to get played because emotions, okay, is simply just, it could be a figment of your imagination. When we learn to use emotions in the right way, we are powerful. When we don't understand how emotions work and we're still dealing with traumas, we can be exploited and manipulated quite easily because somebody is telling us what we want to hear or because somebody makes us feel a certain way, no matter if they are actually good for us or not. So, women, as a rule of thumb, when you're dealing with men, you should make sure that he is in his building stage. What I mean by that is there are times when men are going to go through time periods where they need to go through their healing and they need to develop and they need to do things to be more whole, provided that he does that. Some men, when they are going through traumas and challenges, they don't give a fuck. They still out for pussy. They still running around trying to fuck everything moving. They're still trying to, win at everything. And they tend to go into their more egoic self because of the pain that's on the inside and they're compartmentalizing. Compartmentalizing means that they kind of just push it out their mind, they suppress it, and they don't deal with it. Men can easily do that way better than women. So he could be dealing with a myriad of different issues, but he could be so good at compartmentalizing that he is dealing with his ego space. He's not willing to be vulnerable and he is still moving and operating as if he is in his highest self, or it seems like he's in his highest self. But here are some surefire ways to tell if a man is truly ready for a relationship. Okay, first of all, I don't give a fuck where you come from, what background you come from, who your mama was, who your daddy is, what they did, and what they didn't do. Men have an innate ability to build. So this is going back to our tribal, natural state of consciousness. So if we were to think about a tribal man, especially men of color, they're building their huts and they are taking what's in nature and they're creating a foundation for their family, right? So males, even if they have money, don't mean that they are high value, high quality man. They may be a high earning man, but that don't mean they are high quality man. It's about their mindset. Remember, it's about mindset, right? And if you a solid woman, you want to look at mindset. So if he is sexually undisciplined, a lot of times that's a cover up for some unhealed issues. Okay, men tend to, you know, uh, not really deal with emotional and psychological issues. Okay, so that's why a group of dudes could be together talking about how many sexual conquests they had. Nobody is none the wiser. Ain't nobody dealing with shit because they ain't finna have no heart to heart talks, right? And they giving props to the biggest playboy who probably got mommy issues, or they're giving props to the guy that's sleeping around who is dealing with sexual confusion. Just, the things that the sickness that we actually give life to in our society is really by far one of the most divisive things that we do as human beings, but we do that shit. So it really takes somebody operating in their third eye to see through the facade, to see through the veil. Okay. So a male may be in an impaired state, but if he is sexually undisciplined, okay, if he is not structurally sound, meaning that he doesn't have a solid place to live, listen to me. I know this may be hard to hear for some of you, but you need to understand this shit. Because a lot of times women think that men operate like them, but they don't. If he doesn't have a solid place to stay, meaning that he has not yet built his own foundation, then he is not in a place to be a builder for you. Doesn't mean down the road he can't, but right then and there, he cannot. And who knows? Down the road is ambiguous. It's not solid. So if we're looking at um, um, progress over potential, his progression is stagnant. So he doesn't have that solid, stable home. If he's not happy with his career, then you need to understand that he is not in a position to build for you. He is still building himself. He is still building character. And even if it take him a long ass time, or he has some arrested development, or whatever have you, some pride issues, it is what it is. A lot of women think that men are not able to love them because they don't want to. A lot of times men are not able to love you because they're not able to love themselves. Men pride themselves on being able to protect and provide. When he is in a psychologically compromised state, he's not able to protect and provide properly. But he's still gonna want some pussy, and he's still gonna want some respect. Okay? But you as a woman have to be the one to decide, okay, am I gonna give him pussy and respect? Because what I'm seeing in front of me is not something that I respect. And sexually pleasing him is really hard to do when we fucking on a mattress on the floor. Ugh, I hate these damn birds. Let me walk. So it's really hard to do when we having sex on a mattress in the basement of his mother's house. You see what I'm saying? You must understand that even if we connect to him and we like him and we care for him, men are builders. So the psychological state that most men are in is what affects them being in a relationship. They don't work like a woman. Let me tell you the difference with a woman. A woman could be dead fucking broke and fall in love easily because a woman does not pride herself on her finances. At least most don't. It's natural and feminine energy to be receivers. So we don't mind being broke as fuck and being with a man. Now, many people say, oh, that's bogus, there's something wrong with that. Women should not want to be with a man when they are not financially well off. Well, I'm going to be honest with you, that's not really our bag. Now, you can say you can framework it in current society and say that it's part of her value and whatever have you, But naturally, the laws of nature says that women are natural receivers. That is why we have a vagina and we receive a penis. You understand what I'm saying? The laws of nature don't lie. We open up to receive. So a woman could be dead fucking broke, and by the laws of metaphysics, she would be fine with getting in a relationship and being in love with a man and giving her heart to a man and not even give a fuck about how much deep in debt she is, how broke she is, how economically unstable she is. That's not going to deter her from loving this man properly. She probably going to be more of a burden financially, but it's not going to deter her from loving the man properly. Okay? But for a man, because he is the giver, especially if he's heavy on the masculine side, if he's not happy with his job, if he's not happy with his life, if he's not happy with his foundation, then he is going to offer you dust. And you're going to feel like, why doesn't this man love me the way that I deserve to be loved? And you're going to think it's because of you. And he not even, most of the time, they not even courageous enough to tell you that the reason why they act in the way that they acting is because they're not happy with their own lives. They're just simply going to continue on the pathway and tell you to hold on, baby. I'm making changes, but you know, no end date in sight, no real, you know what I'm saying, plan of action, no real structure, no real uh, 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 strategy to what they're talking about. They just simply just, you know, giving you some sort of arbitrary ideology of where they're going, and then they expect you to hold on because of your nurturing energy. And this is how you get used. Okay? That's how you get used. When he's in a psychologically impaired state, he needs your nurturing energy for stabilization. He's not going to tell you that, but that's the way the laws of nature work. That's why whenever you see like these hood dudes that are getting out of prison or whatever have you, and they are trying to stay out of trouble, what's the first thing they do? They go get them a woman, right? Why do they do that? Because psychologically they're drawn to feminine energy, which is a healing energy. Now, see, women, the reason why you will, if you a solid healer type woman, why you will lose putting your energy into a male that's not a builder, who's not on his building shit yet, is because building is instructions. So a man that's a builder, he's operating at his highest capacity. But when he's building, he will give you instructions. So it's like, okay, baby, I'm gonna help you start your LLC. This is what you do. You go to the Secretary of State website. You fill out these forms. You do a registered agent. Then you look up the suppliers, and then you buy wholesale, sell retail. You know that type of shit. He gonna help you start your LLC. That requires instructions. When you are healing somebody and you are healing their pain and their traumas, you are pulling from your own energy reservoir. Listen again. You are pulling from your own energy reservoir, and then you are showering that person with the vibration that it's going to take for them to heal themselves. Now, granted, when you talking about these healing things, a person, like, think of it physically. A person can have a third degree burn, a person can have lacerations, a person can need surgery. These are all things that require specialists, right? When you are a in general heal a woman who is there, you can, you can uplift your man, you can be supportive and all that shit, then your energy frequency is not designed for those hard cases. They're not designed for somebody who is such in a psychologically impaired state that, the best they can do is be average or mediocre. It's not designed for sociopaths and narcissists because you're pulling from your energy reservoir. They have nothing to give back. See, a true builder is going to be able to spin a block for you. He's going to be able to give back, which is also going to fortify your energy, which is going to make you a better woman. Because see, he can build with you, and you giving him that support, you're giving him that encouragement, and you're issuing your feminine energy in the most healthy way. And then he's giving you that structure, he's giving you that autonomy, he's giving you that leadership and protection. And that is what's the law, that's practicing the law of reciprocity. But when you pouring out your energy as a healer, pulling from your energy reservoir to a entity that can't give back to you, I promise you, here's what's going to happen. You're going to become drained and drained and drained. And then when you become bitter, motherfucker gonna look at you and say you bitter and you not pleasant anymore, and I gotta go find new supply. I gotta go find me a new woman because it ain't fun being with you anymore. You know, I don't enjoy being with you anymore after they done used you all up. So unintentionally, when a man is not in his building state, he can use you. Men who know that they probably never gonna be in that building state, and they probably are going to perform very remedially as a man, as a husband, they generally know that they're going to do that, so they are going to take more than what they can give back. Are they going to tell you that shit? No, they are not. It is up to you, and it is incumbent upon you as a woman to figure that shit out. And once you figure it out, you don't need no goddamn uh um uh what's that, closure. You don't need him to verify it for you. You just need to look at the situation. Is he structurally sound within himself? Yes or no? Is he happy with his job and his position? Yes or no? Does he like who he is? Yes or no? Has he dealt with his unhealed traumas and wounds? That's a big one. And that's going to take a hellified man, a very righteous man to do that. Yes or no? If the answer to three or four of these questions is no, then no, you don't get in a relationship with that motherfucker, because it's gonna be an uphill battle. You're gonna be drained, and you're gonna be sorry that you did real soon. It don't matter. I don't care how much good sex is involved. I don't care how much connection is involved. Eventually, the motherfucker is going to be a burden and a strain on your resources because he's not in his mind state of building. And men operate in their highest capacity when they're in mind state of building. Now, women who are broken, who are not in their highest capacity, operating in their highest in a structured, centered, feminine energy, will likely be a strain on a man, but since men can compartmentalize, he's not pulling from the reservoir of his energy. He's pulling from the reservoir of his knowledge. So all he is doing is giving you the knowledge so you can build yourself up. Now, obviously, every man should have some sort of tent pole as to how much he's willing to give. But as I said before, metaphysically, women are designed to receive. Okay, well, that's why we open up to you. That's why we have vaginas. Men are designed to give. That's why they have phalluses, penises. They enter in. Okay? So that giving thing is more of a masculine thing. The receiving is more of a feminine thing. It is easier, I'm just saying it's easier for a bum chick to be upgraded by a man than it is for a bum dude to be upgraded by a woman. These are facts. This is the law of nature. Feel how you want to feel about it, but it's the truth. So if for women, if you see men are not in their stages of building, I don't care. He could be a good man. He could be well on his way. You want to move with caution. Okay. Men have a tent pole or a level to which you're willing to give when a woman is not in her right state. It's not black and white, it's probability. Okay. It's a 70-30. Okay. 70% of the males you date, if they're not in their building state, don't even fuck with them. Men, 30% of the women, if they not in their healthy femininity, don't even fuck with them. You feel me? And I think that that is a realistic measurement based on the laws of nature. What's up? Let me see. What's up, Kari? How are you? Peace to you. Good evening, Miss Sonia. Yes, emotional intelligence, absolutely. Sky, peace to you, peace to you. Air sign, peace to you. Serenity, yup, yup, yup. Smiley Perks, thanks for tuning in. All right, so That's my word for today. Again, I feel that this has a high probability of working for you. And obviously, this message is for solid women who have that healing energy. Recognize when you give from your healing reservoir, that's taking energy away from you. If he is not able to replenish you by being a good builder and providing a structural foundation for you to be able to walk this earth protected, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and psychologically, then what you will experience is drainage. When you become too drained, you become bitter. When you become bitter and cynical, now don't nobody want your ass, and all you got is the low frequency options. You see what I'm saying? It's a whole mind fuck. So by setting healthy boundaries and being intentional about the males that you allow into your space, this is how you are going to stay within the highest concordance of your feminine energy. All right? Peace.